Alright friends, Vivo is back at it again, and this time they're flexing their camera muscles with this brand new Vivo V60 5G. And let me tell you, this smartphone is basically shooting pro photography without slapping a crazy flagship price tag on it. You've got a redesigned pill-shaped camera island on the back, ZEISS branding everywhere, and yes, that signature aura light that Vivo loves to hide. But here's the real question. Does the V60 actually deliver a camera experience that can make your Instagram look like it belongs in a gallery, or is it just another marketing glow-up? On paper, the setup looks stacked. A 50-megapixel Sony IMX766 main camera with OIS, a 50-megapixel telephoto with 3x optical zoom, and 8-megapixel ultra-wide. Yeah, that's one a bit sus. We'll talk about it. And on the front, a massive 50-megapixel selfie shooter with autofocus. Because, selfie matters more than anything in 2025. While specs sound impressive, right? Well, they can lie. So today, we are testing the smartphone's camera in real life. Daylight, low light, portraits, selfies, video, even those AI features Vivo keeps bragging about. And by the end of this review, you will know exactly whether the V60 is the mid-range camera king or just another pretender. So yeah friends, watch this review till the end to see everything for yourself. And hey, if you're new here, then hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon to never miss brutally honest camera reviews like this one. Now, when you look at these shots side by side, you can instantly tell how the Vivo V60 handles different focal lengths, from ultra-wide to main to telephoto. And honestly, it's kind of impressive how consistent it stays. Starting from ultra-wide, you get that 16mm wide view that's great for fitting the whole scene. Though, yeah, with its 8-megapixel sensor, you can see some softness around the edges, like it's trying its best after pulling an all-nighter. It still gets the job done for landscapes or group shots, but don't expect flagship sharpness here. Then, moving on to the main 50-megapixel Sony IMX766 sensor, that's where things start getting serious. The detail jumps instantly, the dynamic range stretches wider, and the color tone stays perfectly balanced without throwing in weird hues. Vivo's white balance control is rock solid. No red or blue tint drama. And because I shot this in vivid mode, you can see that extra bit of pop in the greens and browns. But nothing looks cartoonish. It's the perfect, just right amount of color that makes the image feel alive without wrecking reality. The sensor may be a bit old, but paired with the ZEISS glass and Vivo's new HDR processing, and it's still pushing way above its weight. I have taken thousands of shots on this smartphone just to test how far it can go. And to be honest, even in challenging light, it holds up like a champ. Then we hit that telephoto, another 50-megapixel sensor with 3x optical zoom. And this is where the detail just gets wild. You can see the texture of the tree bar, every groove, every crack, like the phone's trying to prove a point. The colors get slightly more dramatic here, a bit of depth and a bit of more contrast. But it's not overdone, it's cinematic. The only catch, you gotta stand a bit back to focus properly. The lens doesn't like being up close and personal. So yeah, if you're planning on zooming in your coffee mug, take a step back before the camera gets confused. Overall though, the whole combo, the ultra-wide, the main and the telephoto, feels cohesive. Vivo clearly designed these three lenses to complement each other instead of competing, and that's rare in this price range. You get versatility, great color accuracy, and detail that actually looks pro, straight out of the gallery. No Lightroom, no editing, no let me flex this exposure. Just point, shoot and boom. 3 different perspectives, one consistent story. Now this is where you really start to see the pecking order between the lenses. When the lights go down, the main sensor with OIS tips like, don't worry guys, I got this. The performance here is solid. Clean details, minimal noise, and it handles those tricky bright spots like streetlights or car headlights without completely blowing them out. And that OIS, it's doing the heavy lifting. Every shot stays sharp and stable, like it's had a 3 cups of espresso before clicking. That big sensor and the wider aperture really pays off. It just soaks in the light beautifully. Pair that with Vivo's image processing in ISP magic, and you get low light shots that honestly looks DSLR level. I've shown some of these photos to people who don't know tech, and they straight up thought I used a professional camera. So yeah, I'm calling it. This thing is a mini DSLR killer in its price range. Now the telephoto, and here's the surprise. It's actually good in low light, like genuinely good. You still get sharp, detailed photos with barely any visible noise, and it doesn't completely crumble in the dark like most mid-range zoom lenses do. That alone is impressive. But of course, when it gets too dark, yeah, that's where it starts to struggle. It's physics, not magic. And for some weird reason, Vivo won't even let you shoot at the default 3x in certain lighting. You gotta move slightly, from 73mm to around 80mm to trigger that proper image processing and get the full ZEISS look. Don't ask me why. It's like the phone is saying, I'll give the good stuff, but you gotta work for it. Still, once it's locked in, the results are gorgeous. And then the ultra-wide, and yes, the class clown of the group. When the sun goes down, this one just gives up emotionally. No optical stabilization, smaller sensor, and it shows. The shots are noisy, soft, and the color starts looking like they gave up trying. It's honestly less of a photo and more of an abstract painting at that point. Like, sure, you can use it if you're going for impressionist artist instead of photography. So yeah, here's the real takeaway. The Vivo V60 is built for people who care about their main and zoom shots. Their ultrawide is just a bonus, the third wheel of the camera family. But honestly, Vivo made the right call. I'd rather have two cameras that absolutely crush it and ones that just there than three average ones pretending to be special. It's a smart trade-off and it pays off big time in real-world shooting. Alright friends, let's talk portraits because let's be honest, half of us buy smartphone these days just to flex that bokeh blur on Instagram. And the Vivo V60, this is where that ZEISS partnership really earns its paycheck. First up, ZEISS multifocal portrait. The Vivo V60 lets you play around with 5 different focal lengths. Run wide 23mm environmental shots that show more of your surroundings, all the way up to tight 100mm headshots that zoom in on every detail expression. It's like having multiple portrait lenses crammed into one smartphone. And honestly, it genuinely changes that storytelling of your photos. I mean, I did remove the 23mm one because, let's be real, no one's out here tracking portraits that wide. It just feels a bit odd, and you can clearly see why. Now about edge detection, and this is where the Vivo V60 flexes hardest. The portrait mode locks onto your subject instantly and doesn't just turn the background into a weird mushy soap. It gives you a clean, natural separation, smooth creamy background, and overall, it feels like a DSLR light experience right out of your pocket. No fiddling around, no endless retakes, no wait, it didn't focus on my face, it just gets it right. And the skin tones, surprisingly natural. Vivo didn't go overboard with the beauty filter nonsense this time. Faces stay sharp, details are intact, and you don't end up looking like a fax figure at man by two swords. It's like the smartphone finally realized that humans are allowed to have pores. What Vivo's done here is a shift in focus from just taking a clear picture to actually creating a photo. It's not about megapixel flexing anymore. It's about giving you cinematic tones, those golden focal lengths and creative tools that make your shot look intentional. Like you're meant to be an artist, not just someone who hit that shutter button and prayed for the best. And honestly, I've gotta say, I love these portrait shots. You can even pull off some decent portraits at night, as you can see. Now, let's talk about that 4-season portrait mode that Vivo just loves to brag about. And honestly, it's pretty wild. You can shoot portraits in 4 different seasonal looks: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And the results are insane. The background behind me literally changes to match the vibe of each season, and it looks surprisingly realistic. If you're into photography or creative shots, this is a super fun tool to play with. Sometimes you just want that extra flexibility without spending hours in Photoshop. It's also a cool trick to show your friends, or if you're doing professional portraits, it adds that cinematic touch. Now about so-called 100x zoom feature. Yeah, let's be real for a second. It's pure marketing magic. Once you pass that 10x, it's basically all AI doing guesswork, sharpening edges, inventing patterns, and trying way too hard to make sense of reality. The results are overprocessed. Kind of cartoonish, and definitely not Instagram worthy, unless your aesthetic is oil painting mode. By the time you hit 30x, it's less photography and more like modern art. Looks cool from afar, but don't zoom in unless you enjoy disappointment. That said, for quick peeks at something far off, it actually does a decent job. And I'll be honest, it's kind of fun to use. The larger sensor really helps to keep things sharper at those mid-range zoom levels. So, if you keep it under 10x, you will get surprisingly good shots that actually holds up. But if you go full 100x, well, yeah, you will definitely capture the moon, but it will just look like someone doodled in a Microsoft Paint. Now let's talk about those big boy megapixels, because the Vivo V60 is rocking not 1 but 250 megapixel shooters, the main and the telephoto. Sounds impressive, right? But here's the thing, by default, it doesn't actually shoots in full 50 megapixel glory. Most of the time, it's using pixel binning, basically merging 4 pixels into one. So you are getting 12.5 megapixel shots that balances light, detail and file size. But flip on that high resolution mode and boom, the full 50 megapixel beast wakes up. And yeah, when you zoom into those photos, you can literally see the difference. The textures pop, tiny bricks on the wall, text on the distant sign, every single leaf on a tree, it's all there. If you're the kind of person who loves to crop in later or maybe wants to print your shots poster sized, this mode is gonna make you smile. And man, these shots are insane, like seriously. It's wild to think that they came from a smartphone. Even the 50 megapixel telephoto doesn't sit quietly in the back. It's a detail monster too. Just look at these samples, captured in full 50 megapixel glory, and they hold up beautifully. That's thanks to Sony IMX882 sensor with those big pixels doing all the heavy lifting. You can see every texture, every line, every subtle tone. It's honestly way more detailed than you would expect from most telephoto cameras in this price range. So yeah, high-res mode isn't just a gimmick. It's one of those features you will actually use when you want to flex what your smartphone camera can really do. Alright selfie lovers, this is where the Vivo V60 flexes hardest. On the front, you're rocking a massive 50 megapixel ZEISS selfie camera. And yes, it's got autofocus. None of that fixed focus nonsense where you have to stretch your arm like Mr. Fantastic just to stay sharp. In daylight, the selfies are ridiculously detailed. You can see every hair strand, every bit of skin textures, and the colors are super natural. None of that ghostly, over-brightened, I just came out of a skincare ad kind of look. Skin tones especially are on point. Basically, you look like yourself, just on a good day with 8 hours of sleep. And honestly, I love these selfies. Like really, how many smartphones can actually nail front camera photos like this one? And get this, you can also shoot full 50 megapixel selfies. Yeah, 50 million pixels. I mean, just look at these shots. The amount of details is insane. You can literally zoom in and count your pores if that's your thing. I can't even think of another mid-range smartphone that offers this kind of selfie quality. It's the first time I've seen a front camera at this level in this price segment, and it's genuinely impressive. Alright friends, let's be real. If still photography is the Vivo V60's crown jewel, then video is, well, the correct gemstone, and trust me, I'll explain why. First up, the biggest miss, no 4K 60 FPS. Yep, you heard that right. In 2025, when even budget smartphones are sneaking in 4K 60, the Vivo V60 is still chilling at 4K 30 across the board. And for anyone who does vlogging or serious video work, yeah, that stings. Now to be fair, 4K 30 on the main camera actually looks solid. The footage is sharp, colorful, and the dynamic range is handled pretty well. The OIS does its part too. Pans, handheld shots, casual walks, they all look decently smooth. For most casual creators, that's more than enough. But when you take it into low light, that's when it reminds you it's a mid-ranger. The first issue, light flares, and they're annoying. You'll notice them around bright bulbs or street lights. Then there's stabilization. It's there, but it's got that jittery, macro shaky feel that makes clip look a bit wobbly. The smartphone tries to control noise by softening the image, which ends up removing details. So yeah, it's decent, but not exactly wow. Moving on to the telephoto, and honestly, this one's a surprise win. You can shoot 4K 30 FPS here too, and the footage looks awesome. With great details, amazing dynamic range, solid control over highlights, and when you get too close to your subject, that natural depth of field just hits different. It gives you that cinematic DSLR compression look, which looks stunning. Plus, stabilization here is also impressive, way better than I expected at this price point. But in low light, well, things starts to crumble. Stabilization weakens, noise creeps in, and the details go soft. But hey, that's kind of a rule for most phones at night. Physics doesn't play favorites. And with an f2.65 aperture, you can't expect miracles. Now the ultra-wide, yeah, disappointment strikes again. It maxes out at 1080p, no 4K, and the difference is immediately visible. The footage looks softer, less detailed, and switching lenses mid-recording makes the drop in quality very obvious. And in low light, oh boy, it's a full-on noise party. Details vanish, colors fade, and it just looks messy, like abstract art messy. So yeah, this lens isn't your night shooting buddy. Then this is the selfie camera video. And on paper, it sounds like a dream. 50 megapixel sensor, autofocus, ZEISS-tuning, all that good stuff. But in practice, the 4K selfie video is shaky, like really shaky. No OIS, no proper EIS. So even a casual walk looked like we were filming during an earthquake drill. It's wild because Vivo keeps marketing the Vivo V60 for vloggers with things like wedding vlog mode, but without stabilization. It just doesn't make sense. The footage itself is beautiful with wide dynamic range, amazing colors, and good details. That looks amazing. And I love how you can switch between ultra-wide, wide, and zoom on the front. But man, if you had just added EIS or OIS here, this could have been the best vlogging selfie setup in this price bracket. Still, props where it's due. Even in low light, the front camera performs insanely well. Oh, and the slow motion videos, let's just say, yeah, no. You're noisy, soft, and the quality falls apart even in good lighting. You can even try them for fun, but don't expect install real level footage. Now you can switch between all the cameras, selfies, ultrawide, main, and the telephoto seamlessly, but it's locked at an 1080p 30 fps, which is totally expected. The stabilization here though, it's surprisingly solid, especially in 1080p mode. If you want things even steadier, there is ultra steady mode, also kept at an 1080p 30 fps. It's super stable, as you can see. I was literally walking through chaos, and it still held up fine. Now let's talk about something I didn't expect. Microphones. The Vivo V60's built-in mics are ridiculously good. I was genuinely shocked by how clear and natural they sound. Check this out. So, this video is now being recorded at 4K at 30 fps using the main camera of this Vivo V60 5G. Tell me in the comment section how the mic sounds, and also tell me in the comment section how the video quality looks. I am in my studio right now where I have two lights, so the video quality should be impressive. So yeah, tell me in the comment section how the mic sounds, and also let me know how the video quality looks. So now this video is being recorded at 4K at 30 fps using the 3x telephoto camera of the Vivo V60 5G. So tell me in the comment section how the mic sounds, and also tell me in the comment section how the video quality looks. Look how far my brother stands at using the 3x telephoto lens. I am in my studio right now where I have two key lights, so the quality should be impressive. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Wow, I mean, that's some serious audio quality for mid-range smartphone. So with all that said, the big question is, should you buy the Vivo V60 5G in 2025? And that brings me to my final verdict. So here's the bottom line on the Vivo V60's camera. The main 50 megapixel is reliable. The 50 megapixel telephoto is the real star with gorgeous portraits and zoom shots. And the selfie camera is one of the best you will find in this price range. The weak link, this ultra wide, soft, noisy, and nowhere near the same level as the main camera. And for video, no 4K 60 fps and shaky selfie footage hold it back from being a true vlogger smartphone. So who's this V60 for? Simple. If you care about still photography, portraits, zoom shots, and selfie, this smartphone is a beast. It's for people who want scroll-stopping shots on Instagram without dropping flagship level money. But if you're a video creator or someone who needs consistent ultra-wide performance, you're better off looking at something like the Oppo Reno 14 or the OnePlus 13R. So at the end of the day, Vivo played it smart. They gave you two killer cameras, one amazing selfie shooter, and a bunch of ZEISS features that makes photography fun and creative. For the right user, the smartphone is a pocket-sized photography studio. So for about 98% of users, this is a go-to smartphone. And yeah, I 100% recommend it unless you're buying it purely for video creation. Then maybe look somewhere else. Now, if you're in Pakistan and thinking about grabbing one, well, I've teamed up with Sharjah Mobile, a store you can actually trust. They got the V60 and bunch of other hot models at killer prices. So use the code Hamza for an exclusive discount. And hey, don't forget to thank me later when you save some money. So yeah friends, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, then please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to never miss a review video like this one. And if you like this video, then give it a thumbs up and leave your thoughts in the comment section. I will love to answer them. So my name is Hamza, this is ZEISS, and I'll catch you in the next one. If you want to watch the full review of this Vivo V60 5G, then that video is right here. And if you want to watch the fully camera review of the Vivo X200 SE, then that video is right here. Thank you for watching.